Hello, folks. It's Tuesday, and we're doing a spot of rapid transit. For those of you who've not met me before, hi, I'm Sam. I'm one of the team at Dovetail Live and Dovetail Games, and we're showing off a bit of rapid transit because it got some love from our preservation crew not so long ago, and once in a while, we thought it was pointed out to us that we didn't just play it anymore. So rather than showing anything particular of, just going to play it. And they said, well, we need someone who's just going to play it. And I went, well, that'll be me then. So hello, good evening, and sit back and relax. We're going to trigger PZB like there's no tomorrow. Right, so we are on rapid transit, and I'm intending, fingers crossed, we'll see how we go, intending to run 3 different trains tonight. We're going to do the new timetable, so the 2021 timetable, and we'll start off with good old traditional Talent 2, and that should be good for a laugh. Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll stick everything in the defaults as far as weather is concerned, and then we want a nice straightforward little route. Now, I always make I try to always do a little test run, and this is actually quite a nice, this S6 service is quite a nice one to start off with. Can we see working crossing gates? If we happen upon them, yes. We may inadvertently trigger a bit of Zephyr in doing so, but we'll give it a go anyway and see what happens. Right, let's crank the doors open. No, I've got to turn it on first, presumably. Right, I was literally just here, so I've got no excuses for not getting the buttons right. Where are we? Where am I? Oh, I'm over here. Hello. Right, okay, so we'll put the PZB on, and we'll put the Zephyr on, and that should do us. Now, I am not massively familiar with PZB. Just not massively familiar. So this is part of my learning curve that we've got going on here, and it's if I don't get tripped up, then it'll be something of a miracle. But I fully anticipate getting tripped up. I intended to switch those on. They were already switched on. Right, anything else that I need to do for setup? I think we're about there. Okay, all right, good. Right, yeah. Yeah, I know. I know it's a big opportunity to experience some PZB early on. Hopefully, the other services that I'm going to run will be slightly less PZB prone, and therefore we'll have some opportunity to I don't know, experience train moving. We want the displays on. No, they don't appear to want to switch contrast. No, it doesn't want to. No, there you go. Now we're in dark mode. There you are. Right. Okay. Let's rock and roll. Hold on. No, what haven't we done? We're in forwards. We're in forwards. Okay. Why are you still giving me the red signal? I have closed the doors. Pretty sure of it. Yes. What have I not done? I did everything apart from potentially release the handbrake. But I don't think that's going to be the case anyway. You've got to close the MCB. Of course you have. Right, it's over here somewhere. Pantograph circuit breaker closed. Right. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I knew it was something along those lines. Right. We'll let the brakes release a little bit, and then I'll give it some juice. Right. There we are. And this will chances are this is the last time that we'll be on time all day, and I still haven't pressed something. Oh, it's madness. It's madness. I rarely drive German trains. Yeah. I'll give all the PZBs a press just to be on the safe side. Throttle's good. Yeah. Parking brake. That's on the back switchboard, I believe, unless I'm wrong. No, you're thinking of the battery. You're thinking of the battery. Well, this is starting out well, isn't it? Nothing like a bit of expertise to get us on the go immediately. Parking brake is... wait. It's none of those. It's not that one. I'll get there by process of elimination, otherwise known as looking at every button we've got on the dash, and eventually I will stumble across it. Yeah, left of center panel. Center panel, left. Okay, all right, okay. I'll find it. It's okay. We're all good. I don't need any temper mat, but thanks anyway. No, cheers for that. Master switch is on. Reverser is good. Pantograph's good. The temper mat, we'll release that just for the heck of it. And oh, there we go. We seem to have got a little bit of electricity going now, but we've still got no actual process happening. Left side of one screen. Thank you. Got it. No, that's apply. Release. Okay, right. We'll give it a bit of release. We'll ease that back off again. The brake cylinder just filled back up, and we're away. Thanks, team. No, good. That's it. No, good. Got it. We're there. We're alive. We're kicking. And now we wait until we're tripped up by PZB for the first time. Now I noticed that we've got a bit of 70-85 flash in there. Now, unless I'm very much mistaken, that's going to limit me to 40 kilometers an hour. Yeah, quite happy to be limited to 40 kilometers an hour for the time being. And there we are. Am I feeling a bit rusty? Only on German trains generally, because I don't drive them very often. And then the way that I tend to play train sim world generally is that I'll pick one train and I'll play it for like a couple of hours straight, and then I might never go back to it for months on end. And it's been ages since I drove a Talent 2. So you forget where I know it's 45, but 40 is the safe point. Right, we are now locked into 85, which means I can probably boot it up to the speed limit. Okay, all right, there we are. Okay, we're away. Right, okay, yeah, so, I mean, the good thing about Talent 2 is that the brakes are pretty good, which means that it's almost certain that I'm going to trip the first platform edge without breaking a sweat. That's just details. I'm sure we'll be fine. Right, let's get these brakes in. I'm going to stay on the CFA. CFA I don't have too much trouble with usually. I'm going to overjump this. Yeah. Oh, he said, the brakes are no problem. He says, yeah, no problem with the brakes. They're good, but not that good. Yeah, I know. It just a little bit of overconfidence on my part there. I mean, we say that like it's unusual in some fashion, but I'm pretty sure I've pulled a complete Natalie on that one. And that's not easy to do. You've got to give credit for a Natalie being pulled. Natalie's speciality is one door left in the station. This isn't the 422, it's 442. 422. 422 is my favourite German train because the brakes are so so lackluster, I think, is probably the way that I'd describe it. But yeah, okay, no, I meant 442. I wasn't getting confused. I just said the wrong numbers. Right, okay, right. We should be about there. You happy? You're not happy. Let's give it a bit of that. Why are you unhappy with me? I think because I accidentally went into max brake, we might have to do a bit of this and then a bit of that. I did close the doors. I assure you I closed the doors. There we go. Right, there we are. We've released now. We can charge on. That's a score of 3 in Nat Train Golf. Yes, very good. I said all the right numbers, but not necessarily in the right quantities. To paraphrase a famous saying. Right. Or rather butcher a famous joke, but hey, it's all good. Which route am I looking forward to driving when Rush Hour is released? I don't know actually, because I haven't seen any of them in action yet. So I'm looking forward to seeing which one is the most fun to play. But as soon as I do, then I'll give you an opinion as soon as I have one. But I don't yet have one, so So there we go. Right, we might start a bit of judicious slowing down just a smidge earlier this time. Just a little bit, just to be on the safe side. We don't want to go completely overboard again. Am I running PZB? Yep, I am running PZB. I am CIFA as well. Because the only way you're going to learn it is by using it. Now, my biggest weakness with PZB is spotting the trackside indication that there is a PZB magnet coming up. And it could just be spotting the magnet on the track. But I'll be honest with you, I'm usually just taken by surprise when there is a PZB limit imposed. I'm getting much better at actually following speed limits, but but spotting when there's a PZB change coming up, I'm not so good at it because I don't know what I'm looking for. That's the problem. But this is, I mean, I'm recording my experiences with PZB because one of the things we're hoping to do is give a more robust, let's say, tutorial for those who are ready to move to the next stage and want to try a bit of PZB out. Anyway, one of the things that we changed with this release, or rather this update to Rapid Transit, was we've got the passenger information screens in now, which is nice. It adds such a lot. Yeah. What are the layers for Rapid Transit? Oh, there are quite a few actually, and there's quite a few substitutions that go on as well. In terms of raw layers, off the top of my head, I don't know. You're asking the wrong person. It's a Mac question, but one of the trains that I'm going to be driving this evening is off Rosignord, and then we'll be doing I want to say 186, but I might be wrong. We're going to drive. I'm going to drive 3 different trains this evening, relatively short hops with each one, but I want to show off 3 different ways of doing it. So we're driving the Talent 2 right now, which comes with Rapid Transit from the get-go. I'm going to drive one that is added in as a result of using if you own Rosignord as well, and then one which is a standalone loco that you can buy for the route if you feel like it. There we go. Yeah. But Rapid the preservation crew job that they've done has added quite a lot to Rapid Transit, which, as one of our older routes, was always a little bit lagging behind, I think, in terms of overall playability, or overall depth and breadth of content. So now it's got a lot more going on, and there we go. Crazy says Rapid Transit has the least layers beside Rosignord. It gets extra S-Bahn services with the 143, and the 182 can run freight services on most German routes. There you go. Crazy dropping in some additional knowledge there. Apparently I've got a good narration voice, which is fortunate because anybody who watches these streams regularly knows that I don't half go on. No, talking quite a lot is my thing. So if you don't like what you're hearing now, this stream is not going to get any better for you. There you go. Crazy likes pretending that they're smart, that you're smart. Well, I mean, if that was a crime, we'd all be done for it on a regular basis. As long as it's only outwardly that you're pretending you're smart, and you can switch it off when you actually need to be. Yeah. Nice to see I've not managed to break it yet. Give it time. The day is very young. We're only 15 minutes in. There's a lot can happen since there before we reach the end of the run here. Now this is a 30-minute run, so I expect to be done within about an hour and a half. We'll see how we go. We might not have hit the PZB danger zone yet, so we'll see. That's right. What Mod Pete just said is Matt's tutorial video, if you've not seen it, on PZB. Firstly, it's 2 hours long, and that kind of gives you an idea of how much depth is in there, because he actually teaches you about signalling at the same time, or rather the PZB signalling, that you need to be aware of, and you just kind of go, okay, I've got to retain all of that, am I? And as long as you pick up some fundamentals and then try and put them into practice, you'll find that little by little you get a little bit closer to having some understanding, which is why I volunteered to do our German session this evening, because I wanted the practice. Yeah, I'll take any excuse I get to put in a bit of practice. There you go. Am I going to get Rail Driver? Probably not. Don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of Rail Driver. I think that you can add a massive amount of immersion by having the right controls in front of you, or rather, you know, a replica of the appropriate controls in front of you. I think it adds a massive amount to it. I just worry that I won't use them enough. I've got a HOTAS joystick that I picked up for Call of Duty. No, not for Call of Duty. For Elite Dangerous. Sorry, I worked on Call of Duty Elite, which is why I've got that association going on. And I've got I've got a steering wheel and a set of pedals back from when I played Truck Sim, but now they sit around just not being used. So I do worry a little bit about buying more bits of redundant peripheral hardware business that I might not be using a year from now. There you are. Yeah, that's the detail. How's the casual driving? Well, once I got it moving, Liam, it was all pretty good. Once I got it moving, but until that point, it was moderately less successful than that. There you are. Elite Dangerous is awesome. It is, most definitely. I think it just misses having a game in there somewhere. Personal opinion only. In terms of flying it around, though, amazing. I personally, speaking for myself as a gamer, if we were to merge Elite Dangerous and No Man's Sky, it would be splendid. You take the breadth and depth of gameplay in No Man's Sky, and you add the flight model from Elite Dangerous, and maybe the universe building in Elite Dangerous as well. That would be amazing. But that's just me. Anyway, we're rather off topic. Antoine, this is Rapid Transit. It's not a new... it's actually one of our oldest releases, but it's recently been given a fresh look by our preservation crew, which is a team within Dovetail whose job it is to go back and look at older routes and add some of the latest advances that we've made into it. So we should have operational crossing gates and passenger information screens, and I'm driving an entirely new timetable, which allows you to use a variety of different trains on there as well. So it's... Oh, I've died. See, that's me tripping the flaming whatnot. Yeah, not paying attention. Yeah, all right, yeah, I got you. Yeah, we're going to have to come to a full stop. That wasn't a CFA miss. No, that was a PZB miss. Yeah, okay. All right, no. I was reading the chat that time, but I'll be honest with you, I don't think I'd have clocked it. Thank you. Shh. Right, you happy now? Good. Okay, hold on. No, you're not. Let's give it a bit of this. Let's give it a bit of that. I don't think that's done it. I think we might have to go for max break. And then do a release. Yep, there we go. Right. Now give it the beans, and we've got... we're limited to 40 again. Okay, fine. Yeah, didn't see it. Did not see it. Oh, well, yeah. Yeah, really, am I really going to be trying to keep up with the chat while running with PZB on? Yes, I am. So, therefore, that will not be the last time we see that. Yeah, and every single time I'm going to blame the chat. Yeah, I'm not taking any responsibility. Right, there we go. I mean, I haven't missed a CFA yet, but then, you know, CFA yells at you and you've got the opportunity to press the button. I owe everybody an ear check. I'm sorry team. If it's any consolation, the other trains that I'm going to be driving this evening, they don't bleep so much as they have a nice lady yelling at you. So I mean that's preferable. I mean she does just yell at you, but I mean surely that's better. CIFA is easy to learn. CIFA is very easy to learn. I mean, I'm not suggesting that CIFA is complicated in any way. You see the light come on, you press the button. If you forget to press the button, it starts bleeping at you or yelling at you or any and indeed all of the above. But if you want to get into to playing with safety systems on, it's recommended. Because as much as you will fall foul of it on a regular basis, at the same time, it adds that level of extra challenge where if you get it right, it's actually much more satisfying. So if you wanted to, if you wanted to just get started with safety systems, CIFA's a good way to start. It just makes you pay attention more, which is a very different way of playing the game. When you're used to just focusing on, okay, here's my upcoming stop point, make sure you're following the speed limit and make sure you're following the signals, which is a fantastic way to start. When you're ready for the next level, start playing with safety systems. When you're ready for the full-on pro level, turn the HUD off and learn the route, so you're not going to get any guidance from anywhere. That's where the obsessives live. But there we go. Yeah. Any trains for pacers? Any plans for pacers? At some point, we know how popular pacers are. So I think it's inevitable that they'll turn up at some point. But I'm going to say that with just about anything you ask, really, because at some point we want to add a bit of everything. But we do know that pacers are popular. There we are. What did John ask? I missed John's question. Oh, okay. Stop looking at the chat. See, I made the CIFA bleep at me. Okay, right. Pay attention. Right, what are we in? We're in a 70. We're in an 80. Okay. PZB appears to be cheerful so far. Give it time. I'm sure I'll find a way to upset it before too long. You'll be fine. Right. Okay. I think 70 is enough for anybody. I mean, we're already late. What does it matter? Yeah. Yeah, you should brace yourselves for not being on time at any point. This evening? No, it's not going to happen. This is not within my flipping heck, I should have a break on like quite a lot by now. Alright, we're going over again. No. On time? I'm pretty good at being on time. Or rather, I'm not terrible at it. But that largely depends. Actually, this is a perfect stop. Is it? Yeah. I mean, you don't get any closer than that. Right. Helps if you open the right doors, of course. You've got it, buddy. Yeah. All right. Okay. So a good stop, somewhat then foiled by the fact of having the doors open on the wrong side. Well, if anybody wants to get out on that side, I suppose they can do. It's not that German rail is particularly safety conscious or anything. Oh, hold on. Yes, they are. Yeah. Will rush hour streams be every 2 weeks on Tuesday, or will it go once a week at all? Scott, once we start getting closer, we'll start talking about it more. So, especially once we can start showing routes off, then we'll have more to show more frequently. So what we're doing right now is giving you enough so you can start to get a feel for what's coming, and then later on we'll be once we can show more than talk, because at the moment we're still at the period where we're able to talk about what's being confirmed, but we're not yet at the point where we can show much off, and there's only so much you can do in a kind of a verbal descriptive fashion before people start going, yeah, all right, yeah. What gets players really excited is when you can actually show it in motion. So that's where we're hoping to get to. Yeah. There we go. Right, good. Will it be a paid update? You may possibly be completely oblivious to whether it will be a paid update or not. This is a question we ask more often than anything else. There are 2 parts to Rush Hour. Right? The first part is the core game update, and that is totally free to anybody who owns Train Sim World 2. Right? That includes improvements to functionality, it includes all the preservation crew work, and a bunch of other bits and pieces as well that we're detailing bit by bit. The second part of it is the same as just about every annual release that we do, which is 3 routes that you'll be able to pick up. And yes, you would have to pay for them, but you'll still get the Rush Hour update whether you buy the route pack or not. So the route pack will be called Train Sim World 2 Rush Hour, and the update will be called Train Sim World 2 Rush Hour Update. Confusing, but you won't find the update on a store anywhere. That will just happen. If you've got it installed, you'll get the update like a regular patch. There you go. Except it will be quite large. Yeah. Will there ever be an update where it adds things to existing lines like a route add-on for Overground on the Bakerloo line? What you're describing there is a route extension, or a route expansion, where we create a new route, for example, that bolts on to one of the ones we've already got out. Now, the problem with that is that we need to make it work where you own, let's say that we split Overground and Bakerloo line, right? Overground is a new route that's coming. Entirely hypothetical, right? You could buy Bakerloo line. You could pick up Bakerloo line and play that in its entirety. Or you could pick up Overground line and play it in its entirety. But if you've got the two, then they'll cross over and they'll merge and they'll mix and so forth. And that's the challenging bit on a technological basis, on a developmental basis. The challenging bit is getting that overlap to work seamlessly, or at least in a way that is acceptable on a playability basis. Because Bakerloo line's actually a pretty bad example, because Bakerloo is a self-contained route. But the tricky bit would be to go full length without an interruption in the middle. So we want to develop that tech before we start talking about route expansions, or route extensions, I should say. But it's on our list of things that we want to do. Best example of this was Matt saying London to Brighton and Brighton to Hastings. There you go. Yeah, that's a good example, Scott. But I mean, there's plenty to go from. What's my opinion on Sim Metro? I think it's lovely. I think Sim Metro is fantastic. Matt and I were talking about it earlier this week, actually, and we said one of the things we like best, here's your opportunity for some feedback, right? Is so when you're playing Train Sim World and you're using the throttle or you're using the brake, you hold it down and it smoothly moves through every notch that's in there. If it's using a notched system, it will glide through the different notches. Whereas in HumSim, you have to click again to move through each notch, and you might on hearing it, you might go, well, that's inconvenient. I'd rather just keep the button held down. But in reality, it actually gives you a slightly better connection mechanically to what you're doing, and also it helps you build up. You know you're in the third notch because the last time you used it, you pressed it 3 times. So it actually gives you a better connection where you're not driving the UI, you're not driving the HUD. You are instead far more in tune with what you're driving. It's an interesting one. So the click-through idea is one that we kind of go, oh, we like that. I pushed the wrong button there. Yeah, a little early. Well, that's just going to make up for being a little late at a previous one. That, and of course the lighting and the sound in HumSim is just wonderful. It's really, really nice. It's only a little route. It's quite limited, but at the same time, it's really nicely done. Yeah. Metro could do with more English, having seen someone play it on YouTube. Well, the thing is, people will only go look for someone playing it on YouTube if it's a game that they were aware of or they already follow that YouTuber. If it manages to get Steam, for example, because it's a PC game at the moment, I think it's also available on mobile, but it's it's come into awareness in the last couple of weeks because it's Steam. But yeah, it depends if Steam start to recommend it alongside other train games. Click Idea would be really good if they had a train control unit like a racing wheel. Well, if you've got Rail Driver, you can already pretty much simulate a notched base system. What? Not again? What? I was looking at the chat, so I don't know what I missed. Apologies to your eardrums. I'll have us reset momentarily. Thank you. Right. Okay. All right. You happy now? You gonna let me go? You're not, are you? No. You're gonna want me to put a bit more brake on first. Okay. Fine. Max brake. Yeah. And here we go. Now, where we do use a kind of a notched base system in, let's give it some of that as well. Come on, let me go. Let me go. I'll give it all of that. You can have some of this as well. Thank you. Right. No. I'm going to blame the chat, but it's just unfortunate. Bit of timing, that one. Yeah. Very, very unfortunate. But hey, that's just life. I missed a signal speed limiter. I was looking the wrong way. What did I miss this time? No, you didn't miss it. What you missed was you failed to abide by. You didn't look to see what C4 the PZB was telling you to do. Yep. Have all of that, and then silence. Thank you. Now, can I leave, please, teacher? Please, can I? No. All right, let's go max brake again. This seemed to work last time. Max brake, yeah. Down to a brake, about notch 1. Hit that lot again, and then it will release. Go on. Release me. There you go. Have I put us in reverse? I rather think I have, haven't I? Okay, all right. I didn't intend to do that. I think I may have just got a little bit carried away with button pressing. Well, these things happen, and miraculously, I haven't failed. Okay, all right. Yeah. Okay, now, 40 kilometers an hour, please. Ignore the chat for a moment and concentrate on what you're doing. Yeah, I know. Yeah, but, you know, the chat are nice people, and we like talking to them. Yeah, that's not the point. Pay attention. Okay, I am paying attention. All right. Yeah. I'm working on it. There we go. All right. Okay. Right. Yeah. All right. I've got it. It's okay. We're under control again, momentarily. Now, it would be nice not to be driving the HUD here, and instead be driving a combination of the track and the dash. And that way, I could have a look for some sign postage that says, "Hello there, Tiger, you've got another slowdown coming up." And then I'd be able to slow down ahead of time. That would be nice. But it's okay. It's going to be fine. I tell you, this is a heck of a lot easier when it woo, gently does it. All right, there you go. All right, we've got 85 again. Boot it. Okay, right, off we drop. Yes. Would Dovetail ever make its own version of Rail Driver? It's really unlikely. The main reason for that being is we don't make hardware. That hardware's not our thing. So we'd need some hardware specialism going on, and then of course we'd want it to be compatible with every platform that we're on as well. So it would be a complicated job, and as a company we are just not set up for that kind of business. If we decided to get into it, then that's a slightly different question. But obviously, if we decided we were going to make hardware, we'd probably make hardware. That's what I just said, in shorter words. Yeah. Right. Good. If they're walking downstairs and they see me in the cab, the ones who are insane enough to get on knew what was coming. This is true. I do have a reputation for being rather hostile towards my passengers. But I do try and get them there on time. That's my usual motivating factor, except today I'm learning safety systems. That's doing some flashing and it says 10 underneath. Alright. If this trips me up, then in future I'll know that that means something. No, it didn't trip me up. Alright, it doesn't mean anything. Alright, here we go. It's going to be a nice stop, though. Do you reckon? Oh, yeah. See, look, right on the money. Well, yeah, I mean, stopping from 10 kilometres an hour is hardly the biggest challenge in the world, is it? No, probably not. But hey, I got the doors open on the correct side this time, at least. Have I moved my office around? You can't see Jeff's box. I have. I have actually shifted things around. I've got some more modifications to do in here. Yes, there are some changes coming. Imagine a TSW arcade machine. Yeah, but, you know, how much would we charge for one go? Go on, I'm inviting you to be as cynical as you please. There you go. Right. Can't take everything too seriously. No. Stop pushing the button the wrong way. Alright, okay. Are the brakes happy enough to release? Or was that momentary flutter with the emergency brake enough for it to go? Go on, you're going to have to go through the rigmarole. Alright, I'll go through the rigmarole. There's a bit of max brake. There's a bit of max brake. Right. Brakes to 1, and then to 0, and then off we go. Okay. You want to find a denser to go arcade machine? You know, actually, I don't think you need the arcade machine necessarily, although that would be a nice have, wouldn't it? But the controller is such, all you'd really need to do is just to fix the controller to something relatively stable. And then you could have almost the same thing if you're using a big screen TV. I reckon. Pound a mile, $1 billion, $750. Yeah, you see, there you go. You're all just being completely mad. Acknowledge. I've seen for acknowledged. You reckon I need to... there you go. I've given it a bit of PZB acknowledge as well, although I'm not entirely sure why I did. Yes. I don't think I needed to acknowledge anything there. Now, what's it? Because presumably, this just tells you the current PZB operating environment that you're working under. It doesn't give you any clues as to what's coming up, unless I'm wrong. It's not like LFB. LFB will give you lots of lovely information. But PZB, I believe you have to read the signage in order to get a read on it. I might be wrong. Maybe Dovetail Games in the future make handhelds. We can play Train Sim World 2 everywhere. Never say never. We've got no plans. But I mean, I think there's certainly an audience for a relatively fun, but still simulator-oriented, mobile-style title. We've got a yellow coming up here. Now that's usually a. If we go through this yellow, I'm going to hit acknowledge on the PZB. No, hold on. You've got to be under a certain speed. I can't remember. I might have actually done one right. No, wait for it. 85,000 hertz. Yeah, we should probably bring the speed down a little bit. Something's about to happen. I can feel it. No, 85,000 hertz. What's the speed limit? 85,000 hertz. A good rule of thumb is to acknowledge any new speed restrictions 80 or under. Thank you. That's a good one to know. 85 limit. But 85 is the booter, but only if you've got the magnet active. I'm with you. Right, okay, yeah, I'm on it. Right. Okay, right, and now I'm not under magnet, so I could actually go up to whatever the track limit is at the moment, but I shouldn't because we're coming into the station. Right. Okay. And there's a red. Yes. So I really don't want to get this stop wrong. I'm not going to get this stop wrong. It's fine. We're going to be fine. Yeah. 500 hertz magnet is your 50. Yeah. Oh, thank you. All right. Well, that's all right. I'm already within tolerance on that one. Yeah. Although, I'll give that an acknowledge as well. But I'm coming in for a stop, so even if it stops me now, it's kind of doing what I want it to anyway, so that's golden. you want to go a bit more aggressive? No, I'm confident. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's going to be no problem. Stop it on the money. Stop it on the money. There you go. That's another nice stop. Can't argue with that. I mean, you could try, but it wouldn't get you very far. Okay, so we are 7 and a bit minutes behind schedule. No, coming up, not even. Not even 7 minutes behind schedule. Shit, 6 minutes and change behind schedule. That's not so bad. It's not so good, but it's not so bad. Any news on the Steam article? It's waiting for me. I've got one more interview to do to round out the next Steam article, and then we can write it up. The next Steam article is all about how we go about researching routes that don't exist anymore, and how we go about creating authenticity when all you're going off is historic documents. And what I've got so far is actually pretty interesting, but yeah, I've still got a little bit of work to do on it, so then it'll be finished off. Right. Only 25 when I start out. That's fine. I'm only doing 25. Right. The magnet's disappeared. We're on 85. That means give it everything you got. Okay. Oh, except of course track limit. All right. Yeah, I'll give it a dab of that to go. That's my. I apologise for whatever infraction I have just done. There you go. All right. Yeah. No, sorry. I'll behave myself. I was so excited about actually reading PZB for once that I completely ignored the fact that I was overspeeding. But hey ho, right, bit of brake, a lot of brake, I reckon. Let's not run it into the buffers. All right, there we are. Okay, good, job done. A smidge over it. What do we get? A bronze? Yeah, I think that was earned. Right, smashing. Now let's have a look. I'm just going to check my stop accuracy. Check this one. Oh, 8 centimetres. Yeah. 8 centimetres is pretty tasty. I mean, you could round it up and say it's 9 cent. Oh, hold on, this one's even better. That one is 0.4 of a cent. That's 40 millimetres. 4. No, it's 4 millimetres. Whoo! That was nice too. That was 50 centimetres. There were some nice stops in there. There were some bad stops as well, and some stops that we weren't intending to make. Hey ho! That's just life and fun and what have you. Okay, right. No, yeah, it's 4 millimetres. Yeah, I know. I was adding extra zeros in there. It's because of the decimal point threw me. It just did. Right. Okay. Let's go back to the main menu and let's load up our next one. There was almost a full nat too. I did a bit of everything, I'll be honest. I did a JD where we stopped way too early. I did a nat where we barely kept the train in the station. I didn't do a mat where you completely ignore the station and decide that maybe that's just not the station for you. So there we go. Right, next up, we're going to have a stroll on the 182. Now, I'm not going to go the full distance with this one, but the 182 is available separately for rapid transit, and it also works across other lines as well. But the reason I'm not going to do the full thing is it's a 70-minute run, so we'll do a slightly shorter one, and we'll head out of Leipzig in the afternoon. There we are. Is that called a Matt or a Nebworth? No, Nebworth goes back too far, you see, and also it crosses the streams. Because that happened on Matt's own channel rather than on an official channel. So you've got to go for only go for stuff that happened on the official channel. Now, I was in here earlier on. I'm going to get this. The passenger door selection that's the opener. Yeah. Passenger door selection is that one. Right, and go. We haven't powered up. Okay, right, okay, I'll find it. Circuit breaker, close that bad boy. Yeah. Right, give it an... Also, it's pulled back, not push. My instinct is always to push forward to open the doors, and it's not. It's pull back to open the doors, which means that if you fall over and hit the control, you don't open all the doors while the train is doing whoever knows how much speed. Right, let's get the lights on. Exterior lights, sure. We'll have them too. Reading light, just no. but I knew where. But it was there. What we do want is we want the cab light on ever so slightly, and then we want to go and stick on. Well, you're going to be late before you set off at this rate. Yeah, okay. Pretty sure the circuit breaker for CIFA at least is down here. Pretty sure. No, it might be the other side. Might be the other side. Right, there's CIFA. Yeah. Is PZB down here as well? No, I think that's in cab. I think that's in cab. Okay. Well, look, given that we're not going as far, why don't you go without PZ? I want to go with PZ. Oh, no, PZB's up here. Right, yeah. PZB on. Right, signal lights, leave them alone. PZB mode. I don't go anywhere near PZB mode yet. I'm not ready for that. Not by a long way. I'll just leave it in whatever it's set to and hope that something exciting happens. Right, now we can close the doors. There you go. C for LZB and PZB. I know so little of what I'm doing with LZB, and I know it's not a complicated system, but I'm just going to stick with the two for now. I think that's sufficient. Right, when direct brakes are released. Okay. Now here's where we find out whether or not I've got everything on. Hey, there we go. All right, leaving more or less on time. Gently. There we go. Right, we're at 40. Well, it's a 45, but 40 is where you're supposed to. That's it. If the camera wouldn't mind, stop doing the jiggly there for a moment. That'd be nice. How long is this route? I looked at it earlier. I think it's 70-something kilometres, something along those lines. But it's got a reasonable amount of variety to it. So it's a good one for a bit of this and a bit of that. If you're commuter focused anyway, urban commuting, it's quite a good one. Go on. You're still under PZB. See, it's acceptable to drive the HUD when you're outside the train, I think. Train too loud. Okay, hold on. I'll fix that when I feel safe to do. I'll fix it after next CIFA. There you go. Right. Because I've got to do that outside of the gate. So let's drop that down to about there, and then get back in. That should be slightly better. Go. If you have a green signal, yes, you can hit the end key to cancel the 45 kilometre limit when the 8570 is flashing. See, but that's advanced stuff. I'm not ready for that yet. What are you trying to teach me? You're just trying to get me into trouble. I'll end up just pressing end all the time. Right, we've got a stop coming up, and I'm not certain on the braking power that we've got going on. Train brake. That's direct. Train brake is what you want to be playing with. Right, yes sir. There you go. Oh, actually, the brakes on this are pretty zesty. Right. Okay. There's an 85 limit upcoming. What are you seeing that tells you that? If I knew what to look for, I'd look for it. Release the direct. Why have you just pressed pantograph? Leave the pantograph alone. We need that. That's what makes us go. Please, thank you. We are braking maybe a little on the slow side. There we go. It's the yellow starboard. There's an 80 warning sign. I said it was outside. Okay, all right. I'll keep my eye open. I might not be able to. I might not react to it, but I'll see if I can spot one. We're now playing board spotting. I'm up for it. I'll give it a go. Look, how about we arrive at this station sometime before the end of the year? Okay. There you go. That's a bit better. The brakes do seem to have some life about them, so that should be good. Come out here. Oh, I reckon. Carlos, we're only going to do about 20 minutes of this route, but we are going to endeavour to make at least one stop that is tasteful. This one doesn't count because I came in at walking speed. Right, okay. Now, make sure we've got the doors set to the right side. We have, and open them up. Okay. There we go. You passed a fixed 80 sign. They just leave the 0 off. I know about that, but I'm looking for a yellow. Just looking for a yellow. Yeah. Orange triangle point. See, you're all describing a bunch of different stuff there. A bunch of things. You're kind of going, no, it's the one with the triangle down. No, there's a thing with the star. Oh, and it's 8, not 80. Yeah. And what? I mean, you've surely you have to admit there's quite a lot going on there. And once you know it, it's relatively straightforward. But it's like anything. It's once you know it, it's pretty straightforward. Until you know it, it makes you go, what, eh? Bluey, there you go. You've got a question that I can answer. When's Rush Hour out? Later this year. We haven't announced the release date yet. We're done, and I'm not going to do it now. But later this year, you can expect to see Rush Hour. Yeah, you see, you people are saying summer. I never said that with my face. No, I'm saying later this year. I'm not saying it's not summer. I'm committing to 2021. Probably. How dare I not know all of the boards and signals? Yeah, I know. That's why I quite like doing that on stream, is because you're all yelling advice at me all the time. And I find that to be really quite heartening. It's nice to be surrounded by experts, or certainly people who've passed the proficiency barrier to the extent that they've got a vague idea what's going on. But I rather enjoy the learning curve. I rather enjoy figuring something out for the first time. Yeah, I know. I'm not saying I've figured anything out at all at any point, but it's nice to figure stuff out for yourself and then go places with it. But it comes down to, what are you looking at? What are you watching? What is it that you're trying to observe in order to then learn something? And I find that it's an interesting experience. That'll do. Yeah, all right, Sifa lady, I got you. All right, a better stop, but not a good stop. Right, that one. Your door's on the other side, you fool. Okay, all right, well, let's try that then. There we are. There we are. Can you double tap the throttle when the doors are open? What would that accomplish, Liam? Why would you do that? I mean, my normal operating procedure while the doors are open is that I'll prep for departure. So I'll release the brake until about notch 1, notch 2, or the 10 to 20% brake still on, so that I can ease the brake off a lot more quickly and get underway more swiftly. But then my focus is always on try and be on time. And again, we ain't going to do it this time. But there you are. Yeah. Double tap makes a sound when the entire train has passed the location. What? Close the doors on the right. Oh yeah, they are still open, aren't they? Thank you. Yeah. All right. Yeah. No, that's the horn. You were close, but no cigar. There you go. Try that on for size. And then when that has de-illuminated itself, there you go. You're golden. You should, in theory, be good to go. All right. Brakes are released. Don't press the pantograph button. Leave it alone. It's not your friend. Okay, why is it not letting me go immediately? Throttle off. Throttle on. I've got the throttle in minimum. Okay, right. What is this scenario? It's not a scenario. This is a timetable service. This one is around 3:05, something like that in the afternoon. And it's I want to say it's an S2, but it might be an S6. I can't remember which one I'm remembering. No, can't remember. Genuinely can't remember which one. Hold on, I can press this and it will tell us. S2. There you go. So we're doing the S2 service this afternoon, and I believe it's set off at just after 5:05. yeah, yeah. I see it. I see it. I see it. I see it. Let's give it some brakes. From 300 metres? Yeah. We'll be fine. In fact, you could probably go more aggressive than that, but let's not. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, the Roadrunner thing is beep beep, isn't it? No, I have a vague recollection of this reference. And I'm locking it in. Yeah, see, no, that's specialist knowledge. Meep meep. The beep beep counts as well. It's I have experienced it pronounced in both ways. There we go. Is this German? Yes, it is. Only thing I needed to do was close the circuit. You may be lagging behind a little there, Bobby, unless you're referring to something else that I didn't do correctly. I can't rule that out. There we are. Right, we'll get through the rest of this underground section, and then when we have done, we'll switch it up onto the third train that we're going to look at today. Just to keep things fresh and moving along. Alright, close them up. Alright. You may ask, why do I use the control on the dash rather than using the keyboard controls? And it's because I like pressing the buttons. Pressing the buttons is satisfying to me, which is why, you know, whoever it was said earlier on, why don't you do a bit of, why don't you get yourself a rail driver? I should, shouldn't I? Why are pacers so famous? Are they infamous or genuinely good? They were workhorses, and they're not great trains, right? But they're widely used, and they're workhorses, or were, I should say. Yeah, that's the reason that they're so popular, and people used to commute to work in various areas of the country on them constantly, and therefore they were quite widely used, but they were very cheap. There you go. A genuine pacer fan will be able to give you a better explanation than me, but that is my take on it. Is the wideliness that they were used. I used to use them. I used to ride a pacer. Yeah, it didn't work on the last one, Leo. But it worked on this one. So it didn't work on the Talent, but it works on this one. And it just occurred to me when I was in the darkness. Okay, still yet to have what I would describe as a particularly tasteful stop, but we're not doing too terribly. Yeah. So I think pacers have a fondness attached to them, but it wasn't because they were good. But it was there's a lot of spirit behind them of a fix it up, we'll make it go kind of a fashion. Yeah, they're made from buses and don't have bogies. Yeah. I knew that. That was a thing I knew. No, turn the throttle off, turn the brakes off, close the doors first. Oh, there's a thought. Okay, yep. No, I'm fond of pacers now. I don't have to drive them. I have to ride them every single day. Better a pacer than a bus replacement service. That's true. There's nothing worse than a bus replacement service. And this is taking nothing away from buses. Buses are perfectly acceptable when they're driving a bus route. But no, you don't want them instead. There's a reason you take the train, and that's before you get to a love of trains being the reason to take the train. Can we have a route that includes pacers? Oh, it'll happen at some point. I'm sure it will. I wasn't over the speed limit. What are you talking about? Speed limit set at flipping whatnot. Maybe I was a bit aggressive on the get-go, but I'm not over the speed limit. You're lying. That is an untruth spoken. You are slighting my acceptable driving ability. All right, maybe acceptable is too strong a word, but tolerable driving ability. Yeah. Still too slow. I'm braking too much too early. The dream is to become familiar enough with the route. Everyone knows that I bang on about this these days. To become familiar enough with the route that you know the exact right point to apply a sensible amount of braking force to bring the train gently into a stop within, say, a couple of meters of the target point. That would be lovely. No, Liam, it was okay. It was an okay stop, that one. That it could have been better. Carl says there's only one cam option. That's not true. There's another cam. Or you could have this one. This one gives you the freedom to stroll around the place a little bit. Although I currently appear to be out in the middle of the beyond world. I think the camera may have come out the other side of the wall, but it's still letting me have a look at what's going on. Who knows? Underground is not the best place to be using your cameras. Lock the doors. Yes. We got 500 likes for it. Yeah, well, there you go. Remember to PZB after the station. Why? Where's it telling me that? Is it this? Hold on, if I zoom in a little bit. Is it that 8 there that is telling me that I've got a PZB limit? Is it the flashing green light that is telling me I've got a PZ? What is it that is telling me, hey, it's PZB time? What am I looking for? I mean, this is lit up like a Christmas tree, so I've got no idea what's going on there, but none of it's flashing, so it's obviously cheap fairy lights that they've got going on there. It's the 8. The 8 is what's telling me, and that presumably means that I'm entering but I'm already in an 85. Okay. Well, all right. Well, look, I'm going to go dead slow. I'm going to see what happens. It's not going to trip me up. I just want to see what happens dash-wise as we go through this edifice. Right, there's the 8. Absolutely nothing. Oh. Okay. All right. Right. So basically, if you didn't know that 8 meant, we're about to stop the train unless you press the button. That's press button to not die. Okay. All right. Yeah. All right, lady. Right. Good. Yeah. All right. Okay. Good. I've got to acknowledge the magnet with the flashing green. You got 2.5 seconds to comply. Pretty sure it's a song. Yeah. Speed limit change tricked me. It didn't. I was under the speed limit. It's a lack of understanding of what anything means and what I'm looking out for. But I'll tell you something for nothing. If there is another green number sign coming up, I'll see it because it's dark. Actually, I can't make that kind of guarantee. Slow down. Yeah. 40 kilometres or die. Yeah, no, I'm on it. Although apparently I can just hit cancel on the 7580 and then I'll be good to go. But I don't believe that for a second. I'm gonna before we get onto the advanced stuff of cancelling, I'm gonna stick with the basic stuff of recognising when PZB is about to bite me. Which I think, as far as a learning curve goes, is probably the right one. What did I do this time? Probably going a bit fast. I was accelerating because we were going uphill. I glanced in another direction, and that happened. Thank you. Okay, right. Let's get going before we start rolling backwards, shall we? We're probably going to have to boot it a little bit because we're on a 4% incline. We talk about this as German. Oh yeah, okay, fine. They're good at this kind of behaviour. There you go. Didn't react in time. This is the kind of thing the HUD should tell you is coming up. If we were going to try and teach you about PZB, but that in itself is a challenge, because what we don't want is that 8 meaningful. White 8 this time. No, that doesn't mean anything. Okay, all right. Yeah. Watch your brakes. Watch your speed. Watch your speed. It's all right. We're going uphill. That'll act as a partial brake there. Okay. Yeah. This is rapid transit. Yes, it is. Yep. Freshly well, not re-released, but given a fresh lick of paint by the preservation crew to add a few more features into it, and we're running on. That's 10 in a triangle. Anything? Okay, yellow numbers on signals, upcoming change. White numbers, equal speed applies now. Here's an interesting thing. Yellow and green are particularly done digitally. But they look more or less the same to me. That's my area of colour blindness. Oh, we can grip it and rip it. Right. What about that 10? What do you think that means? It means 100. I got you, Sifa. I got you. Evidently, no, I don't. Why have you? I was a bit late on the Sifa. No, I think we're golden. Okay. Okay. I'm pretty sure it's Y and U, Ryan. Pretty sure. Yellow will be below signal, white is above. Maybe. Carter. What was your... Sorry, Carter, I didn't see your question. Or if I did, I might have cut off my own thought in giving you an answer there. Okay. Alright, this is going to be a halfway decent stop by the looks of it. Halfway decent, we'll see. No, you're slowing down too much. You can do 50 to 0 in 100 metres, no problem at all. Okay. There you go. There you go. Alright, slightly aggressive that one, but you know, the accuracy is not terrible. Yes. Right, good. Yes. Okay. It's Y and U to open the doors. There you go. Can I beat 4mm? Unlikely. I'd be lucky to beat 4mm, to be honest. And the only way that I'd beat 4mm would be by judging it in by eye while using the external camera to stand on the platform and try and gauge the perfect point to stop. Never going to happen. Sifa doesn't force you to stop, so I did miss Sifa because she was already yelling at me by that point. I know you don't get all day to respond to Sifa when they start shouting. That's fine. I was otherwise engaged in activities. I don't object to. That's a fair cop. That one. Yeah. Right. Okay. Right. When I drive the Tantu, I always overshoot the platform. Yeah, and that's, for me, right, where I am in my, I hate to use the terminology, but I think that it's the best way to go. Where I am in my train sim world journey is I'm building up a better understanding of braking points and taking a great deal of satisfaction in stopping correctly as often as possible. So I'm more critical of my stopping than I used to be. If I'm not braking relatively smoothly for at least some of the distance into the stop, I'm not happy with it. But yeah, there you go. But that's because I've kind of got over the real beginner stage of gently does it. Yeah, all right. Yeah, we know you're in throttle max. We want to be throttle not quite as max. There you go. Give it a bit of this. Let's get it back under control. Yeah, in the beginning stage, you're happy if you've got the train pretty much in the station. But now, my satisfaction comes from in the right place at the right time. So do you want Cathcart? Yeah, great. The only thing I hate about train sims is seeing trains or routes. Just coming soon. What's that? How do you mean? Crazy syrup? Reword that. I don't exactly know what you mean. try it again. Anyway, right, we'll get into the next stop. I'll have one last crack at making a good stop here, and then we will switch to our third and final run for today. Oh, was that an impatience statement of the stuff coming up? Oh crikey, you've left this a bit late. Maybe that's a good thing. You reckon? You never know. Okay. So far it looks all right. It does. We can ease it back a bit. We can ease it back a lot. Nope, overbroke. Overbraking. Ah. But Pithers, that's not bad going. 230 out of 275, that's an accomplishment. There's not many people that get that far through all the timetable services. There you go, that shows a bit of dedication. Yeah, no, look, I've already busted this stop, it doesn't matter. Alright, okay, fine. Alright, stop then. Yeah. And I have a tendency to use too much brake as well, but we'll work on that later. Right, okay, so there we go. That was our second train for today. We're now going to do one more. Here we are at Leipzig, and there we go. What tips would you give for learning braking different trains? Gareth, I'm very much the wrong person to ask, because when I'm trying to learn braking points, what I endeavour to do is try and figure out what's the latest I can apply full brake and stop in time. I did a video on the subject. I try not to talk about the videos that I make separately, but I did a video on the subject where I did try and nail the absolute braking point for max brakes, perfect stop. And I managed it. Took a while, but I got there. But once you've got that, you can then go, okay, so if it's going to take max brakes stopping from this point, well, I can back it up a bit and use a notch lower down in order to bring the train to a more gentle stop. What I'm doing at the moment to get my braking on point, and why I was disappointed with my braking on that run particularly, is I was applying too much brake early to bring the train in slower, and then I was coasting in before using increasing amounts of brake to stop in exactly the right point. And I'm using the kind of the brake pedal motion there because I think it's as good a slow down signal as any. Yeah, I reckon. Right, last up, we're going for the BR 143. Now this is added to rapid transit if you have RUS ignored, and this is a slightly different experience. Oh yeah, I had fun with this when I practiced with it earlier. I say practiced. I gave it a go. It wasn't particularly successful. We'll go from Halle to Dessau and see how we get on. We'll see. Yeah. Simpson UK TSW Great Western Rail introduction AP point system doesn't work properly. I can't achieve gold medals. Yeah. That's no good. I'll be completely honest with you. That is extraordinarily unlikely, I should say, to be resolved. We have moved on from Train Sim World 2020. The only things we'll fix is when a service it can't be completed. If you can complete it, then the score is a lesser consideration. So yeah, I'm sorry it is that way, but at the same time, it's likely to stay that way too. Right, okay, now hold on. This was the first one I practiced this afternoon, so I've forgotten everything. Good, well that's helpful of you. Yeah, right, I'll get there. Door selector. This one doesn't click into place, dagnammit. Right, let's see if I've done enough. Let's go find the circuit board and get that closed. Let's turn the train lights on. Yeah, because we're in the area. Train line power. Sure, I'll have some. Yeah, what else you got for me? Compressor and attraction. Close that. Yes. And then we're looking for lights. Wait for it. Headlight right. Yeah, gimme. Yeah, all that. Gimme the lot. Thank you. Cab light. Dim, please. There you go. Windows. You betcha. Right. Okay. Okay, are we about there? Train. Let's close them up. Right. Now, this doesn't have a master key as far as I can recall. Right. Okay. And then you could be lucky. Could I? Yeah, you could. There we go. Right. Wait for it. There we are. Actually, let's give it a bit of 8. Got time for a bit. Oh, I haven't turned my safety systems on. I even know where they are and everything. All right, I'll do that at first stop. I'll turn safety systems on at first stop. Go on, AFB your way all the way up to the limit there. Right. Will support stop for TSW2 when rush hour comes out? No. Rush hour is the continuation of TSW2. It's not a new thing, and you require TSW2 in order to use rush hour. So no, it's a continuation of the same game. It's not counted as a new game. Train Sim World 2 is treated as a new game compared to Train Sim World 2020. The reason that we have made that more complicated, or why that might not make sense, is because we brought forward a lot of the content, so a lot of the routes from TSW 2020, which makes it feel like, well, this is just the same thing. And obviously, it looks pretty similar. Yeah, it wasn't a complete ground-up rebuild. So it's built on the same engine, which is why we're able to bring those old routes forward. Yeah. Come here. PZB and CIFA are in the engine room corridor. I'm pretty sure they are too. Yeah. That's all. My first check is for a panel back here or back there somewhere if I'm looking for PZB. If it's got an engine room corridor, that's a pretty safe bet as well. After all, you don't necessarily want this stuff to be accessible to the driver while they're driving. Just kind of go, oh, PZB's hacking me off today, I'm going to turn it off. Okay, we went for braking very, very, very early there. But it's first stop. First stop, you always go careful. Anyway, the way that I think about braking is I think about the speed compared to distance to go. So if, for example, you work out that at 200 meters you can brake full on at 50 kilometers an hour and you'll come in perfectly, then you can just start to do some very rough kind of back of napkin maths to work out, okay, what else might work then, and that will usually put you in good stead. So finding a good couple of round numbers at which you can kind of go, yeah, I see the relationship between those two. Now, obviously, you are dealing with a few exponentials here and there in terms of it's a lot longer to slow from 100 than it is to slow from 50. It's not just double, but it does give you it gives you a frame of reference from which you can start, or it gives you a speed and a distance you know you can make the stop, and that's not a bad place to start. What date was TSW 20 Big Summer release? I don't know. Late August, I think, something like that. What? I'm using 8. Give me my freedom camera. Dang, damn it! What do you mean I can't walk on the flower beds? I'm staff. What if I have to tend to them in between destinations? No. Right, onwards. Close them up. Right. Brakes to casual. Yes. Safety systems. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, right. Let's go bundling down the corridor and see if they're down here. Usually one or the other. The other thing to look for first is if you look for all of these flippy switches here, if you've got one facing the other way, that's almost always PZB. Pantograph, CIFA on. Right. PZB, oh yeah. And then PZB enable is what I'm after. Battery on. No. CIFA's on. PZB's off. PZB's on. There you go. Right. Okay. Thank you, door. Right, on we toddle. Right, brakes off. Let's go. Thank you. The addition of AFB on this one makes things a little bit easier. Have I taken a DQ in a challenge yet? Yeah, I got disqualified on the East Coast Way. What? I didn't see. I saw nothing. Is that because I was going too fast? You have to limit yourself to 25 coming out of a stop. Thank you. Sorry, headphone wearers. Didn't see it. My fault. Well, it's always my fault, but I didn't see it. Right. Let's do that again, but better. Okay. I was too fast. You don't say. Really? PZB stopped me because I was too fast. It wasn't going, no, you're not driving stylishly enough. We'll stop you here. PZB is obsessed with your speed. Yeah. The 45 limit when flashing. Yeah, I know. I literally didn't see it. No, I didn't clock it. Either that or it kicked in after I glanced away, which is just as likely, but it doesn't really matter. Either way, I didn't see it. 40 at startup. These things happen. Right. Release. Wasn't thrilled about that, but that was override. That's acknowledge. That's release. And then I can thump it. We'll see. Okay. The limit is 40, but PZB will not trip until... Yeah, all right, I got you. Will not trip until 45. Yeah, I know that. But if I'm not paying attention, you can bet I'm going beyond 45. If I'm accelerating, I've got the hammer down. That's how I like to roll. Right. I tell you, multitasking while trying to learn safety systems is not easy. But hey, that's where the fun lives. Do I have every German train? I do. Yep. It's one of the benefits of working for the company. Is I could go, Mike, can I have the new one, please? And Mike will go, yes, you can have the new one. Here you go. You're going to make a nice video. And I'll go, nice is maybe a word that I wouldn't use, but I will make a video. Right, there you go. Again, too quick on the slowdown. These brakes are much better than you think they're going to be. Okay. Also, remember, you're in kilometres an hour. You've got to get that mindset straight. Yeah. You can do a lot more, a lot quicker when you're working in kilometres. Yeah. But it makes the maths a lot easier when you're trying to work out stopping distances and metres. It surely does. Wrong way. There you go. Right, there you are. And give it a bit of this. Give it a lot of that, actually. Yeah, we'll have a shot. Also, driving on the right. I'll be honest with you, I don't think driving on the right makes much of a difference one way or the other. I'll be completely honest with you. I don't think that's going to contribute to making anything more or less difficult. No, it's fine. No, it's fine. Yeah. Will you do the Japanese Shinkansen? I think of all the trains that we would do, because it would be a popular choice and likely to sell well, the Shinkansen's right up there. So on a purely commercial basis, either that or one of the Japanese super high speed jobs. Hang on, it seems to be off centre here. I should be over here. I think one of something either Chinese, because we do have quite a few Chinese players, or the Shinkansen would be a very popular choice. Again, I'm not announcing anything. I'm just speculating as to the likelihood that something does or doesn't get made. Yeah. I guess it would be difficult to find documentation in English for Japanese lines. Oh, you'd be surprised, actually, I would imagine. There are so many Western fans of Japanese rail. Not to mention, of course, that Japan's kind of business dealings with the West are such that they've got some technical writers who are extraordinarily proficient in English. Yeah, I know, and being English, it kind of goes, phew, that's just as well, because the likelihood of me being proficient in Japanese is virtually zero. No, it should. Language difficulties don't really exist anymore. There is usually a specialist you can have who will help you get things done. Maglev controls would be interesting. I'm not so sure they would, though, Andrew. Because the thing is that as the train gets more advanced, the less the driver actually has to do. Now, in terms of it being a fun ride experience, I'd probably agree with you. Rattling along at a heck of a speed would be quite good. But with a maglev, chances are, I've done it again, haven't I? Looking at the chat, not looking at the speed limit. That time you were you're within magnet. Oh, okay. Then I'm not sure what I did there. Well, PZB turned up out of the blue. Okay. This is where track knowledge comes in. Thank you. Okay, right. Are we good to go? We are good to go. Let's go then. And away you go. No, it doesn't want to play. Okay. Maybe give it a little bit more. Thank you. Right you are. Yeah, have all of that. And then let me go. I've got passengers to deliver. No. Once more. Negative. All right. Do all the brakes. Okay, there you go. We'll do a full service. Then a release. We'll tell Safer that we like it. And then we'll try that again. That's promising. There we go. Need to wait till the brakes are charged. No, the brakes had stopped charging. That was a fully apply the brakes, fully release the brakes job. That's... Look, I might be doing the wrong procedure there, but you know what? It works. So I'll take it. I'll take a procedure that works every day of the week. Why are we going faster than AFB? Have I turned AFB off? I didn't think I had. But it certainly would appear that I had. That shouldn't be happening. I thought I was speed governing on AFB. Have I inadvertently AFB'd myself? Moggy likes a t-shirt. Thanks, Moggy. But I mean, it's very much in line with how I drive. Okay. I'd flip in love an Indian route. I would too. I would be very keen on an Indian route or a Thai Vietnamese route as well. Something Southeast Asian would be very interesting, or you know, the Indian subcontinent, somewhere in that area. I think there are some tremendously scenic routes. You'd have to deliver on the scenery. You couldn't scrimp on it. You'd have to get that right. But I think if you did get it right, it'd be amazing. And also, I mean, if you're doing an Indian route, the cliche, of course, is passengers riding on the top and the sides and all over the trains. And as much as that may not be a truism, it is a little bit, but it might not be a kind of a global truism. I'd love to see it. Yeah. With Thai 158s. Can't say I know it. You know my level of knowledge. But if I look, but I like that. That's the upshot is that I tend to like a bit of everything. Because I find it really interesting. AFB's off. Yeah, AFB's on. Interesting. Okay. I'll have to investigate. It wasn't self-governing on AFB, which I found to be a little bit perplexing. But we'll see. Right, doors in the right locale. Let's get them open. And I'll tell you something else. We're going for a walk. I haven't been for a walk yet today. Right. And slam the door in your own face. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. Nice. Nice. And graffiti all over the place. Fabulous. What's my favourite train? I don't have one. Not at the moment. I don't have one that I would go, there, that one. That's the one. That's the train for me every time without fail. I enjoy some more than others, but I'm quite enjoying. I think out of the 3 that I've driven today, I think this is my favourite, or it's the one that I would like to become more familiar with. But I couldn't give you. No, that's not a. No, you're not collectible. No, you're just a ticket machine stood there serving virtual tickets to virtual passengers. Shall I get in the door? No, that'd be a fun idea. Right, did Matt do the graffiti? No. Matt's not an artist. I mean, he's an artiste, but he's not an artist. We have an art team who do that kind of thing. Right, lock up the doors again, and then we can leave. Okay. I do like the 101. That's true. I've not actually had the chance to drive the Deutschbahn 101 yet, and I've heard great things about it. So I'm looking forward to that. But I haven't had the opportunity to give it a go. I'll get the opportunity. I'll find a way of getting the opportunity. Maybe I'll set it as one of the next 4-up challenges. Instantly, here you go. Sneaky preview. The 4-player challenge this month is Long Island Railroad. You knew that already. But the 4 drivers involved are the 4 who have played previously, who have been disqualified for one reason or another. Liam says, can I drive it for the first time with you guys? Yeah, most definitely. Have I stuck with 101 on LGV? Yep, I have. It was very disappointing. I did a test of how fast can you get the 101 to go, and the answer was not nearly as quick as I think I took an SD40 down there with a full load, and I got faster with that. Now, admittedly, the SD40 does have quite a lot more horsepower, but that's not the point. So it's the Disco Challenge, we're calling it this month. It is the 4 players who have been disqualified previously going head to head. For those of you who don't know which 4 that is, it's me, it's Matt, it's Adam, and it's JD. I do also like the SD40 because it is the equivalent of a muscle car, and I absolutely love muscle cars. Hello. Right. Train. Is Nat the chief judge then? No. I'm still the chief judge because I can be unbiased about it, because I'm in it for the entertainment value, which is why I play pantomime villain at every opportunity if I'm doing well. No, Nat's still muttering about the fact that she had to do a German route with all safety systems enabled for her It's Your Choice, Nat challenge. She was going, well, that's not much of a choice. Can't I choose the route? You kind of go, unfortunately, it's Germany's turn. You kind of go, oh, I haven't played as many German routes. And you kind of go, well, maybe you should have. And then maybe you'd find something savage with which to take out the other players. Chat should be the chief judge. The chat are going to be judgmental no matter what. Or is that not what you meant? Yeah. What we need for the Disco Challenge are F7s on Clinchfield using that formation. Very good. Yeah, that would work. ABBA, obviously. That was a halfway decent stop. A bit short, but a halfway decent stop. Where is platform? I'm going to assume it's over on the right, given that there's track over on the left. Get them open. Let's just double check. Oh, it's a low. Yeah, it's a low platform. There we are. Will any challenge ever match up to the Bakerloo for villainy? No, because it was the first time out, and I was really surprised to be doing so well, especially since I'd basically cheated. Yeah. And it was just a thing of beauty because I was so late leaving to begin with because I couldn't get the train to go. And then I completely ignored the speed limit in order to get on time. At which point Matt learned for the first time that being on time was more important than following the speed limit. Yeah. And that's why it made me laugh quite so much, because Matt had driven pretty carefully the entire time, and I just absolutely hammered it. You can't wait to take the ACS 64 Den TGV. I think we've unofficially declared TGV as the okay, let's see what this can do test track, and that's a good way to go. I mean, you've got a bit of a drive to get to the test track zone, although I guess you could start from midway, and you're close to the good downhill, but you do miss that first downhill section. Or you could go the reverse direction, which is downhill through the tunnel, but then you don't get to see very much. And arguably, I would say driving the TGV through the tunnel is fantastic, because the dash is lit up so spectacular. Yeah, everyone always thinks I'm going to run late, but and I'll tell you something: when you're not commenting while driving, when you're not talking at the same time, it's a heck of a lot easier. When you're not trying to provide any level of entertainment to anybody, and all you're doing is drive, it's a heck of a lot easier. But while you're trying to come up with intriguing commentary that people might find interesting, and then you're glancing over at the chat and going, "Oh yes, that's an interesting thought," and then trying to answer that question. That's advanced level. That is. Forget about driving without a HUD. Driving with commentary. That's where it is. That's the proper challenge. But it gets easier the more you do it, Gareth. So the more often that you just talk a load of rubbish while driving at the same time, it becomes more straightforward. Yeah. I think one of my favourite streams that I've done so far is Matt and I doing LGV, where I managed to eject the train into space in a way that has never been repeated by anybody. He doesn't know what I did. And that was almost as much fun as me changing over the power on southeastern high speed to something it shouldn't have worked on. And yet somehow it worked. I had developers going, "What did you do? That shouldn't have worked. We've checked it, and that should not have worked." And I just kind of go, I'm just, I just drive it as I believe it should be driven, and maybe I've got some machine empathy going on. And they go, "Oh, I see. For how long have I worked for DTG?" I don't know. That's interesting, isn't it? And it's because I'm not full-time. So I originally worked for DTG before Train Sim World was released, but I was only there as a contractor, doing some player research ahead of Train Sim World, and they brought me back. When did they bring me back in? They brought me back probably a year before, maybe just after the release of Train Sim World 2020, I think, is when I came back. I can't remember. But I'm quite happy doing it. But I can't remember how long I've been there. But they brought me up. I sent a Clinchfield train. I did, but that was in Train Sim. That wasn't in Train Sim World. Clinchfield, I did it on Train Sim. Didn't I? The vertical takeoff in West Somerset. Yeah. I'm not wholly certain why I do that. I'm not entirely sure why that happens. What's my new job? It's quite a few things. To be honest, I've dropped back down from. I was doing 4 days a week last year, which was a bit. No, it wasn't really 4 days a week, was it? No, it was closer to about 6. But I've dropped back down to doing 3 days a week, which is what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm now doing a combination of player research again, survey coming soon. It's an important one, and there'll be an article alongside it. I'm doing player research again. I'm doing some more research on a slightly secretive basis that I can't talk to you about, and I'm working with the design team on things that we might work on in the future, or rather, I'm kind of kicking around ideas that will help work in the future. So there's 4 of us on that team. Matt is one, I'm another one, and then you've got the former CEO is one, and the head of development is another. There you are. What about Unreal Engine 5? It's a little way off yet. I think, and also, if we were to make an Unreal Engine 5 version, that would be a whole new game. So it probably wouldn't be called Train Sim World, but I'm speculating on that front. But that would, I've spoken to the team about it, and they go, the level of change that we'd have to go through would mean that would be a fresh turnover. So it's not something. Obviously, developers being developers, they've poked it around a bit to get the measure on it and see what it's capable of and how it might improve things for us. And obviously, it's got tons of opportunity going on for doing great things, but that would be a whole fresh thing. Trace in Universe. Yeah. Hold on. Yep. Will Rush Hour include this route? No. Think of Rush Hour as just a 3-pack, right? I mean, it's more than that, but just think of it as a route 3-pack, where you get 3 routes for the price of 1, effectively. If you just think of it as that, then you're sorted. You will still need Train Sim World 2 in order to use it. The reason that I'm playing this today is because Rapid Transit was one of the routes that the preservation crew have done some work on, and that work's actually been released. So we thought, actually, we haven't driven it since then. So we're just doing a casual let's play style event. Yeah. There you are. What? You can say that, Mod Pete, but we do not cross the streams. For anybody who's unaware, I run a YouTube channel where I also cover train-based games, but I use my superhero name on that channel, and I use my other name on this channel, so that I don't get confused, because I play them in a non-serious way when I'm playing them under my superhero identity. Here, I try and play a little bit more seriously, although light-hearted. And what we don't want is for me to adopt a different style of play in an arena that would not be appropriate. So I try and segment my mindset accordingly. There we go. Have you ever thought about higher prices for DLCs? I'm sure that's happened. The question would be justifying the cost, and the bigger thing, of course, is precedent. So we try and be as consistent as possible with the way that we price things, so that you know what to expect in advance. Because nothing's worse than, well, why is that one $5 more? Why is this one an extra €10? You know, we don't want to confuse people. We want to keep it as straightforward as possible to understand that a route will cost you this, a loco will cost you that. And once a year, we do a big pack that costs pretty much the same as a route does. So that's the reason that we do that. The reason that we do more once a year is it's a great jump-on point for people outside of the dovetail approach to the train simulation hobby, let's call it, is we renew the title on an annual basis to create a new jump-on point, because it's not that's an awful stop. I want you to know that. Everyone wants you to know that is a terrible, terrible stop. Put the brakes on. Pretty sure I have. Pretty sure I got the brakes on. No, I can't even say I was distracted. I just got it wrong. Okay. There. Yeah, so we create a jump on point, because the train simulation is not like other games, where you buy a game and maybe you pick up a couple of expansions for it and then they bring out the sequel. That's not how we roll. We stick with a title for, well, I mean, historically, a minimum of 5-6 years before releasing a new version, and it's about building out a collection. So all of those annual bigger packs are a way to get people in. Think of it like collecting a real train set, right? So a Hornby, Bachmann train set, whatever it is, you might buy the box that's got a particular loop in it, pretty much always a loop, maybe with a siding if you're very lucky, but that's not everything that's available for it. There is a ton of extra stuff as well. It's digital train collecting, effectively. And so our annual release becomes here is your introduction to getting into a bit of digital train collecting. Yeah. It's between a game and a simulator. It's simulator enough so that it feels like an authentic experience to someone who is not a true simulator aficionado. It's game enough so that someone who isn't a big gamer could go, there's some play activity in here as well. Were it to steer too heavily in one direction or the other, it would be a less appealing proposition. Because for people who are out and out gamers, there's not quite enough game in it. For people who are out and out sim fans, they might feel that the simulation doesn't fulfil the need that's going on. I mean, the first thing you do if you were doing a true simulator, you get rid of the scores for certain, get rid of the collectibles. The walking around on foot, that's still more of a simulator than not walking around on foot. The way to think of train sim is that you are the train. To think of train sim world, you are the driver of the train, the engineer, the operator. But you're wedded to the train in train simulators. That's not to say it's a bad thing. Everybody's going to enjoy what they like best, and the thing that we have going for us is that we can tailor to different tastes. Yeah, I hear you. I'm deploying the brake. I heard you. You can shut up as well. Right. No, we don't need that much brake. Hang on. Trying to do 16 things at once. There you go. Lock that into a 40. Right. Release the brake again. I clocked it. I acknowledged it. You see that? Almost looked like I knew what I was doing if I hadn't fumbled everything all over the joint. Now, theoretically, I should be able to do 85. I don't believe it. But I should be able to do 85. 85 is flashing. Yes. And then Sifa got involved. Hold on, no, it says 6. Let's, no, slow it down. Good, might as well acknowledge that while we're passing it. Right, yeah. Okay, yeah, you've got 6 coming up. Right, I'm doing 40, that's fine. That's easily enough to appease the, and there's the white 6. The green 6 lets you know it's coming. The white 6 lets you know it's happened. Yeah, I got you. What could I have possibly done wrong? I was doing the right speed. You wanted me to press the button that says, yes, I'm doing the right speed, despite the fact that I was doing the right speed. How dare you? I feel entirely cheated. What an unreasonable system. How, a moment of greatness followed up by a moment of rubbish. Right, onwards. There we go. You think I'm under monitoring? Yeah, I think that might be the case too. They kind of go, you can't take your eye off this dude in the slightest. You know, we've just got to keep an eye on it. How far behind schedule am I? About 7 minutes again. Zesty. That means we've managed to do it just as badly every time so far. Great. And then just to keep it extra exciting, Sifa pops up once in a while and goes, hello! And you kind of go, oh, flipping heck. But it's quite exciting. I like it. I genuinely like it. I might gripe about it, but I like it. Yeah. No, that's good. Yeah, good. Right. Yeah. Anybody need to go? I love consistency. I love the smell of it. Right, there you go. Feels like I should be a little bit more generous with regard to the speed here. There's a 500 there. Look, you're all right. Acknowledge just in case it's feeling testy. Okay. Right. Yeah, brakes off. Roller in. Amanda says Einstein is doing the same thing. Was that Matt? I'm not sure that was Einstein. Thanks, Daniel. No, I appreciate the vote of whatever it was you were just... No, wrong way. No, you want the other side. It's because I crossed my hands over to try and do something clever. Hush. Yeah, and now I'm going to spad at the end of the route, having done marginal B. Oh, not quite. No, that's it. I'm clearly... That's clearly enough. No, that was a no spad. That was one of those signals that only apply to other people. That's talking to this line. This is my spad here. There you go. Yeah. Right. Okay, right. On this less than heroic moment, that will do for today. Tomorrow, you've got the traditional Workshop Wednesday is coming for you tomorrow. And Matt and Jamie are going to be poking around in the depths of the Steam Workshop to see what illustrious joys they can fish up and throw in your face for your entertainment. 140 was my best stop, and it wasn't a good stop. No, that wasn't good. We had a better run earlier. That was not it. Didn't entirely fail. Got a bronze, huh? No. There you go. And then on Thursday, I'm back again. I think. No, I'm pretty certain. I'm back with Matt for some Cane Creek action. So that one could be a lot of fun. I think I might even be driving that one. Well, that'll be entertaining. Well, it usually is anyway. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the comments. It was fun to just chat and play it for fun. It is supposed to be fun. Right, I'll catch up with you soon. Thanks for watching. Cheerio. Push the button.